for you about somebody that has made a decision. They know that somebody they've been dealing with is not who they want to be with. They may be dating this person or living with this person, and that could complicate the situation for them. So there's like, I know what I need to do, but I don't know how to get there kind of energy, right? How can I get this started? Who do I need to talk to? Maybe I'll deal with that tomorrow. So maybe a little ambivalence or not really knowing what to do, even though you know this isn't the right place for you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a good day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is in the description box, but it is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. I do also pretty routinely take personal questions at the end of general readings, which is why I was grabbing this. So if that is more your pace, that will likely happen at the end of this reading. There's also information on how to become a member in the description box for you. Hello, Dana. How's it going? All right, let's dive in with... This is the Bianco Nero. What else do we have? The Devil. And the High Priestess. Page of Wands. Okay. Sorry, my nose ring is bothering me. I know what I need to do, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to communicate it, or I'm not sure how this person's going to respond. I feel like there's just a little bit of stagnation because I know I need to plan this, but I don't really know how to deal with it. It's probably going to be awkward no matter what I do, or it seems like there's just so much that I have to deal with in order to accomplish this thing, right? Hello, Devanar. How you doing? Hello, UC. Hello, ENT. Welcome to the collective. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We've got Seven of Swords, the King of Wands in the reverse, and the King of Swords. So there's this desire to make a change in one's life that has to be hidden. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know if I'm ready to get my own place, or I don't know if I'm ready to get my own lawyer. So I haven't made a move. I just know what I need to do eventually, right? And the other steps that it takes to get to that point, I will figure it out. Hello, Antonio. Hello, Billy. You can find out more about my channel if you go to the channel, like, About You page. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. Ooh, and the Hermit? Okay. So this is basically a determination that you can figure things out, but there is some financial element that needs to kind of fall into place. Maybe I'm waiting for a job offer. Maybe I'm waiting to sell a car. Maybe I'm waiting to hear back on whether or not a new place to live is going to work out. But we have someone who's like guarding a secret or waiting for the right moment, and now it just isn't quite that, right? Hey, Devendar, do me a favor and please don't repeat your comments, okay? I do personal questions at the end with priority to those who tip. But for now, we're just going to be doing the general reading. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I have to save up money so that I can get out of this relationship and get my own place. Seems to be the vibe here. Seems to be the quandary. So maybe someone's picking up on the fact that the energy has changed, you know? Like, you haven't told me that you're leaving, but you don't really want to spend time with me, or you don't really seem engaged in the conversations, right? That's a very unique name. And I actually went to church with someone with that name, so that's interesting. But please, if Well, here, I'm gonna remove that, not out of malice, but I don't like it when people share their personal information like that. If there's personal questions at the end, feel free to repeat the question itself. But hello, Renata, how are you doing? That's funny. This is the Earth and Bones Tarot. We have the Seven of Crystals or Seven of Swords in the reverse. We did have it in the upright at the beginning. So this is someone who's feeling the burden of holding this secret. It's like, I really just want to have this conversation and be done with it. We have the Eight of Swords in the reverse and the Star. So I do think that this is someone who, yes, they're waiting for the right moment. Yes, there are some question marks in terms of how do I actually accomplish this? How do I get out of this relationship or out of this situation? But they are actively doing things and they are focused on that goal. This star is like the goal, the desired outcome. They're not going to get distracted from it, right? Queen of Petals or Queen of Pentacles with the Eight of Jars in the reverse and the Emperor in the reverse. So now it's about building this stability and, I don't know, like new foundation, because after walking away, there's this desire to avoid having to move more frequently, or you know what, maybe what I really need to do is focus on getting my own place where I want it to be instead of always living with other people, or instead of, you know, having to move like every 9 months. I think this is someone who wants to put down roots, but they don't want to be where they currently are. Probably not with the current person that they're dating, right? For some of you, this could be a hesitation on putting in 2 weeks notice because you really want to make sure that the new job is going to go through. But it's like, I can't say anything until things are a little bit more like concrete. We have Queen of Crystals or Queen of Swords in the reverse, King of Petals or Pentacles in the reverse, and the King of Crystals. So we have 2 kings and a queen that just came out. They're all in the reverse, and 2 of those are from the air energy or air family, crystals, swords. So I think this is someone, sorry, my nose ring is just not doing what it's supposed to do. I think we have somebody who feels like they're being uncharacteristically secretive. Like, I know that there's a reason for me to have to hide this, but I'm normally the person that likes to communicate this stuff early and often, or like be respectful about it, right? Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? Hello, Joel. Thank you, E.T. Hello, Laura. Hello, Gerlene. How's it going? 2 of Jars, the 2 of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the 4 of Wicks or the 4 of Wands in the reverse. I think this is somebody who's moving out. We've become 2 different people. I don't see a way to salvage what we have. We know that it's just like a matter of time. So maybe these 2 are kind of aware, both of them, that they've outgrown each other or they've grown into very different people. And even though financially it makes sense to cohabitate or delay this a little bit, at the end of the day, we both know what's going to really happen, right? Sorry, I dropped that one. All right, this is the Tarot of the Nile. What else do we have? Hey, Grant, how are you doing? Yep, that's what you have to do. Hello, CTV. I know you're not telling me to do a spin for you right now, because it's not going to happen. Hello, Helen. How are you doing? Six of Wands in the reverse. 9 of Cups in the reverse. 10 of Swords in the reverse, and Ace of Swords. Okay, so it's like I can only hold the secret in for so long before I start to feel like this is misleading or disingenuous in some way. The truth of the matter is this situation isn't working out. I can't continue to work here. I can't continue to live here. I can't continue to date you. Whatever it is, I know it's not what I want. Nine of Cups is in the reverse. I want something different than what this is, right? So I know I'm going to have to figure out how to communicate this truth. I know whoever I'm like communicating with, they probably have some idea, but they might be a little frustrated, right? Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? Hello, Santiago. You were right. Yes, that's correct. We've got King of Cups and the Magician. So maybe it's not easy to communicate this. Maybe it's not what you're wanting to hear. But I know that there's something else out there for me, and I can't get to that unless I first walk away from whatever is not right for me, which is you. Sorry. 2 weeks notice, or, you know, like 2 hours notice for a breakup, whatever it is. Oh, I hope it goes well for you, Helen. Hello, Dennis. How are you doing? What else do we have? We have the World, the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Five of Pentacles. So basically, we've got a realization that in order to get what I feel is that situation I'm supposed to be in, that job I'm supposed to have, that relationship that would make me happy, the circumstances that I require, I can't get them here. So if that's true, then I'm going to have to close out this chapter and make preparations for moving elsewhere, working somewhere else, being with someone else, whatever all those changes are. It's no longer daunting. It's just like, okay, it's time for me to cross more off of the list and get closer to what it is that I want for myself, right? So we've got the Seven of Cups in the reverse and the Tower. A realization that I know what I want, and even though it might cause some upheaval, even though there might be some people that are not very happy, I've got to make this decision. And once the money is right, once I've got the things lined up that I need to, like a place to stay or the next job, then I'm going to have to make that move. It's going to have to maybe be a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation, but, you know, that's just the price of doing business, right? What do you mean you didn't know that, Matt? Of course you do. I'm just saying it's probably a little bit less notice, right? Like, hey, I'm breaking up with you, so like you want to like leave, like go get your stuff and get out. Sometimes it's pretty short-term notice, right? Hello, KH. I'm doing a general reading now, but I will potentially be taking personal questions ready to those who tip. So we've got this Eight of Swords and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Someone who feels like they're getting antsy, they're getting restless. I know that something good is waiting for me over there, and for whatever reason I have to wait until a certain timeline before I can like go over there. But you know when like a kid is like, let's go to the ice cream store, come on, and they can't wait? That's like this person's like checking their watch, like, is it time to go yet? Is it time yet? I'm ready, let's do this. They don't want to wait around much longer. They're eager for that new chapter to start. Well, there you go. A standing order. Uh-oh. All right, this is the Energy Oracle. We'll see what else we've got. A woman holding a coin. Okay. Money, abundance, prosperity. Someone who's focused on making sure that finances are in order before they pursue this contract. So for many of you, this is about making sure the living and working situation is sorted before you leave where you're currently at. But you can tell that somewhere over there by the rainbow, that's where your happiness is. First, you got to get out of this place, right? Yeah. You're making progress. You're getting there. It just takes a little patience. And it does look to me like there is a romantic relationship involved. For some of you, it's about changing your surroundings or even moving elsewhere so that you can be in the right vicinity to meet the person that would actually be your soulmate, or a soulmate, should I say. For others of you, it's just as simple as saying, I don't accept this type of connection anymore. I want to be respected by someone. So the first thing that I need to do to show that I respect myself is not tolerate how you treat me. We have wealthy man, number 13, and despair in the reverse. Someone who is wealthy, well set up financially, who may be kind of in a codependent relationship with this person who wants to walk away. So this is potentially, I need to save up money because I know I've been maybe a little dependent on somebody else's finances, but if I want to go off on my own, then I need to be able to pay my own way. So that could be why we had somebody that was saving up and making sure that they find the right time to depart, because they need to be able to take care of themselves. Looking for the right kind of job, making sure they'll have the budget needed, sending out notices or maybe even applications, right? All so that they can have this new chapter ready to go when they decide that they want to move out of this family or this like cohabitating situation, right? I'm good on my own. I want my own space. For some of you, this could be leaving the family home, as in like where your parents are, or maybe you share something with a sibling. But this is just like, okay, I know I'm ready for something different, and it's going to be over there, and it's going to be awesome. The folks that you're currently with might be a little bit disappointed that you're leaving them, right? Hello, AS, how are you doing? I would guess you'd be a problem no matter where, Grant. So I love to see it. We've got the Hermit, somebody who is doing the research, making sure they find the right path forward for themselves, rejecting what isn't meant for them, making that decision, saying, no, I'm pretty confident that's not what I want to do. This isn't where I want to be, or, you know, I want to live by the ocean and this is the desert. So we have a sense of removing the obstacles that get in the way, right? Thank you, Nell. I appreciate that. Let me jot down your name real quick. Deep feelings, perceive it. I got you. And next action. Thank you. Man, I can always count on you to make that comment, and I like that. All right. You call them tornadoes. You're funny. All right, what else do we have? Oh, my. Knight of Wands in the reverse again. Okay, so you might have to take a little bit of impulsive action, even with all this planning and strategizing that you've been doing. It does feel like there's someone here who has been keeping a bit of a secret from you. Someone who maybe you feel like, if I ask my sister, you know, there's definitely a chance that she'll let me crash on her couch, you know, or if I show up in my best friend's, you know, town, I'm sure he's gonna let me, you know, hang out in the guest room for a week. But there's something here that falls through. There's something here that doesn't work out the way that they thought it would. So they have to get a little bit creative. Oh, I see where you get that. I get it. I get it. What else do we have? King of Pentacles, the Emperor in the reverse, and Temperance in the reverse. So because I've acknowledged that I don't have the ability to carve out the existence I want for myself in the current circumstances, because I've realized that this is not the right situation for me, I know that I need to work on those building blocks, make sure that I have the foundation that I need elsewhere. And then when I get there, it'll be like ready and waiting, right? It'll be all set up and I can just enjoy. That helps, Matt. So we have the Empress and the Page of Cups in the reverse. So when an offer falls through, I do feel like this is basically saying you might need to have a little bit of extra money saved up. There might be an unexpected cost, but there is a reason for this change. It feels to me like maybe if there's a last minute change in where you're staying or who you're staying with, you might meet somebody you're supposed to, or you might be where you're supposed to get some sort of blessing. So this is basically saying be flexible. You might have to accommodate for a last minute change. Someone may all of a sudden not be able to help you the way that they wanted to. Where am I going with this? And that's okay. It might actually work out in your favor. So don't let that like destroy your mood or anything. There's good things happening for you regardless, right? I'm fluent in stick figure. That's funny. Hey Rachel, how you doing today? I agree with that, Ellen. Hello Cassandra, how you doing? Hello Lightning, what's up? This is the Gold and the Normand, and we have the book coming out right away. This talks about secrets and wisdom, but I feel like this is someone who's making a choice. This is about choices. Making a choice, going off on their own, not interested in being in this codependent connection anymore. Whether that is a romantic relationship that feels more like roommates, or even like a family connection where if I do what you tell me, then you pay for my stuff. We've got someone who's like bowing out. You know, this isn't for me. I'm going to find a different way to find my place in the world. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, thank you, Rachel. So, of course, whenever we have a new beginning, that requires that something is ending. And maybe sometimes you could argue that's not true, but I do feel like everything is basically in terms of energy and time. How much effort you're going to put into it, how much time do you have to offer something. And when you put it in that kind of term, I think then it does make a lot of sense that if you've decided this is not the place for you, you're pulling back your energy, you're going somewhere else, right? They're not going to get you anymore. This is the Everyday Tarot. What else do we have? Oh, I'm proud of you, Rachel. It's not always easy, but you figure it out. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Strength in the reverse. Hermit. And the Fool in the reverse. So I know that part of the reason things aren't where I want them to be in my life is because of where I'm working, where I'm living, who I'm dating. This is some self-awareness here, right? This is the block that I have to deal with that stands between what I want over there and where I am currently. So figuring that out is a big deal. Page of Swords in the reverse. 4 of Wands in the reverse, 8 of Wands. But it's not even just the awareness or the discovery of this, right? I know this isn't what I want. And I also know that over there is what I want. It's the fact that we also have action. So you can talk all day about what you want, who you want to be, or where you're going to be, but until you back it up with action, you're not going to really get anything, right? This is somebody who's saying, I know I need to make a change, and I'm going to do the things that will get me to that place, right? Hello, HM, how are you doing? Yes, exactly, Rachel. So we've got the King of Wands in the reverse, the 8 of Swords in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands. So I know that things are going to be easier for me over there. I'm letting go of the things that have made me feel like I needed to stick it out here or make everything work out where I am currently. I'm going to toss that out the window and just be honest with myself that what I really want to do is head out. What I really want to do is find a way to set up a place for myself where I could see myself staying for a long time and being happy there, right? So some of it could even just be, you know, like I've lived in this same apartment for 10 years and I'm ready for a change. Or, you know, I've dealt with cold weather all my life and I'm ready to change. I know I was there at one point. So making this change might seem a little bit chaotic, but it's also something that I feel like they've been thinking about for a long time. Ten of Swords, Judgment, the Emperor, and the Page of Cups in the reverse. So now that there is communication about this change or this decision, we have people that are seeing, what have we called you? The King of Swords, maybe? This King of Swords, they're finding that people respect them more because they're making this decision. You know, like, yeah, we really were hoping you were going to stick around, or yeah, I was really hoping our relationship would work, but if you're, you know, being honest, then I would rather know that that's not what you want. I would rather be with somebody who actually wants to be with me, or I want you to progress in your professional career. There is kind of like some tacit support, right? Like, it's not what I wanted to hear, but I want you to be happy, or I want you to do right by yourself. So I do really respect that, whoever it is that sets aside their own desires and appreciates what's best for you because they respect you or because they care about you, or maybe even both, right? All right, this is the Voyage of the Soul. We've got vivid, imagination, lucidity, creativity, visions, clairvoyance, and breakthrough. So I can see that things aren't going well here in part because the situation just isn't right. If I move to a city, there'll be more technology jobs. If I move to the country, I could focus more on agriculture. If I move to the country, I could actually own a horse. Whatever it is, it's like I know that there's this boundary or this obstacle that has to do with where I am or who I'm with. And I am the person that has to initiate that change. So they're doing it. Good for you. I'm proud of you. It's not easy though, because you do have to deal with this kind of lost soul energy or a dark attachment. There could be someone who likes to make you feel guilty for making choices regarding your life and not prioritizing their needs. It is, after all, your life. But this is identifying the purpose that makes you feel most passionate about life, the skill set or the talent that you were meant to share with others, and acknowledging that you also need to go through some sort of change in order to be able to facilitate that purpose, in order to be able to pursue it. Hello, Kiana. How are you doing? That's sweet. We've got tomorrow and split. Oh, so there's a major decision happening about this new beginning. I think this is when to actually take that leap. Okay, so I've been doing these preparations, I've had these conversations, but tomorrow I actually get on the bus, or tomorrow I actually get on the plane. Tomorrow I get in the car and I drive across the country. So this is a pretty monumental moment for their life because they are letting go of that old stuff, saying, no, that's not really what I want. And that over there, that is what I want. So good for you. You know what you want and you're not letting anybody get in your way. This is What's the News. Hey, creature, how you doing? Hey, Clorox. You're not even gonna spell it right? You just gonna spell it wrong like that? What else? Skirt. Quick getaway. The runner escaping. Fuego. Chemistry. Intense passion. Things are heating up. And chained. Codependency. Unhealthy attachment. Weighed down. That's what I'm talking about. So whatever this connection is, be it family, romance, or even working for someone, it feels codependent. It's like, yeah, I think we would maybe both be happier on our own, but maybe the responsibility of paying for your own stuff all by yourself is a little bit too much. Or maybe we've got a very strong physical attraction here where it's like, I don't know if I want to give that up. But are you happy? They're making the right choice. I won't give them too much crap for it. Hello, Daniel. How are you doing? Yeah, I agree. What else do we have? My. Okay. Well, if that's the way we want to focus on it. All right, y'all. This is the adult portion of the reading. Part of the reason for some of you, not for all of you, because this is a general reading, right? Part of the reason we have somebody staying in a codependent situation is because they thirsty, okay? We got the Kinky Ways card coming out. It's so funny. And then we have the cuffing season, single and ready to mingle, ready for a relationship and on the hunt. I think we do have some concerns here as to whether or not you can trust the people that you've been around. But we also have somebody here who's been struggling to walk away from a relationship because they felt like on the physical intimacy side, everything was great. Anything else in the relationship might have been a little bit problematic, right? Ooh, that's a pretty deep question. I think you have to know that leaving someone isn't always because you don't love them. That's a good response, Cassandra. So we have light bulb moment and paranoid. All of a sudden, the truth becomes clear that maybe this individual that I've been depending on or associating with is seeing things that aren't there or not willing to appreciate what it is that they have. It's just not working out, you know? And it might be easy to be fearful of what would come after this, right? Okay, so we're not like really well matched, but maybe if I try to date somebody, they're going to be horrible. So I should just stay with you? No, because it's not really what they want, you know? It feels in some way like fake, right? Hello, KA. How are you doing? All right, let's get a few from the untold messages of the heart. And then as of right now, I just have a question for Nell, and I might cut the reading short. We'll see. I'm thinking about going to the park. It's kind of nice outside. It's a little hot though. We'll see. All right, what else do we have? I'm going to come sweep you away. I know the clock is ticking for us. Won't you wait for me? And honestly, I pretend to be someone I'm not because being vulnerable feels uncomfortable. This could be somebody who is leaving a relationship for somebody else. I raise my eyebrows in part because I don't necessarily support that. You got to be cautious, okay? We all need a little bit of time to ourselves in between relationships. Or we could even just say it's a full sentence to say we all just need a little bit of time for ourselves. But if this person is leaving one relationship and about to like dive into a new one, I would just caution you, like, you know, sometimes it's really nice to have time off in between jobs. I want to get away from the burdens I have to deal with, but I'm stuck right now. And we also have the I'm distracted right now card. I like that. Hey, creature. Nope, I just live, breathe, sleep tarot. So this is somebody who's interested in having a little bit of carefree time. I do think this is someone who's ending a relationship and they know who they want to have a little bit of fun with. I don't know if this is like serious though. I'm not sure if we both feel the same way about each other. Oh, okay. We're so different. I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work. And please accept my apologies so we can move past this. Is this somebody who did not admit that they were in a relationship and now they're headed out towards this person to say, hey, yeah, it turns out I was in a relationship. But it's okay now because I ended that relationship and now I'm here. I got you, Dana. Thank you. All right. I'm going to dive into personal questions. What do we want? We're just going to go with the rider weight. So for now, we've got what are Geet's feelings for Suvik? What are Geet's feelings for Suvik? Ten of Cups in the reverse, World in the reverse, Three of Swords in the reverse, and the Five of Cups in the reverse. Okay. This is kind of looking like a little bit of misery, but healed over a little bit. So it's not a fresh wound. There's some frustration here from the past, and I feel like a little bit indecision. I don't know if this is just like a general resistance to love or being like vulnerable or trusting someone, but it's like I'm going back and forth. I feel like I need to be cautious, but I also don't want to miss my chance. So this person's kind of all over the place right now. Do they... they're going through some sort of drama right now. They feel like they've been wronged. So I don't know if you feel like you owe this person an apology, but I do feel like they want like at least a hug or something because they're not in a very good place right now. All right, and what would be the next action? Hey Tom, how you doing? Hello Rob. That's true, Clorox. Next action, we've got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, the Five of Wands, and the Ten of Swords in the reverse with the Knight of Wands in the reverse. I do feel like there's going to be some impulsive attempt here to communicate, but it could come across with not the best of intentions. In other words, it might not be as polished as it should be, and it could be one of those like, I didn't really think about it too much before I hit send, and now I'm worried that there's some connotation or some like tone that I didn't intend. So it could be kind of a confusing communication. Thank you, Rachel. All right, so with Dana's question, we've got an energy check-in on Bond. Four of Swords in the reverse. Four of Wands in the reverse. Seven of Pentacles. Frustration. Irritation. The number 4 is definitely important, but we've got a sense of things irritating Bond easily. Not really sure what I should invest in or what I should be able to count on. And the Seven of Pentacles is like this ambiguity or like question mark, like what do I do now? So to be honest, he feels a little bit lost, a little bit confused. But we do have this Emperor energy, very fatherly energy coming in. Is this about a conversation with Bond? Yeah, I think he's asking for advice. This could be an important turning point because I do feel like he's getting good advice. It's whether or not he follows it, right? But he is reaching out, asking for help to figure out what should be like the best course of action here. Hello, 999, how are you doing? Hello, kitten. Hello, Align Your Soul. What's going on? Hello, Trace. All right, I'm gonna do another reading here in a little bit, probably one of the old school ones with like my laptop versus the phone, but I hope to see you all there. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you have that feature, and I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.